first 20 minutes of the battle, I guess, in the books. And we're moving on. Approximately with our earlier battle, with a lot fewer cubes, we figured it pretty good at 5 minutes per cube. Now I'm thinking it's maybe 2 or 3 minutes per cube. And we have the French with 4 cubes pulled, and the Russians doing real good with 3 cubes. So, they're outnumbered 2-1 on cubes in the bag, but they're making a strong showing. And like I said, it's all about the cubes. So those 3 cubes being pulled by the Russians is a great initiative, I guess is what you're wanting to call it. All right, ready for our next cube draw. And again, oops, lost our pen. But yeah, word must have got back to old Benningsen that Markov was under attack by 2 divisions. And a third on the way. He was able to intervene with the, which one was that? Oh, where is his marker? Oh, okay. The 5th Division. And is now called the 7th Division on the way. We got 2 divisions that are nearby, but they're under, aren't able to get their troops together and get the order to move. They have not taken the initiative, so that might change. The 7th Division marching right in front of the 4th. It might be the next Russian cube draw, if you want to make it, the way it right. You'd activate the 4th Division, who would move. They can only move 1 hex, but at least he would move. Wouldn't be caught with sitting on his finger up his ass and get demoted. So he might be looking at this going, oh shit, what does he know? I don't know. And then you can kind of, see how that would be back then when you are relying on couriers. Did my courier, what happened to my courier? How come I didn't get called, through all this and through the snowstorm and through the battle? And I think there was instances during this battle. Well, right now the weather's clear, but when it gets snowy, people go wayward. All right, let's get on with it. There we go. And this is, like I said, a rare day off. This won't happen much. We're going to get it going. And as a matter of fact, I was just on YouTube watching my nemesis, the Player Aid guys. And of course, they're at, Buckeye Game Fest. I've never been to a gaming convention in my life. That's something I'd love to do, but I really don't have the time. I'm a working bee. Okay, hold on a second here. All right, blue. So we come back. Let's look at the board and see what's going on. Might be time to press the issue. We got things going on the right flank and nothing going on in the center. So we'll see what's up with that. We'll be back. Before we move on to this cube, I was looking at the situation here, and I totally forgot that we will give the Russian player, which is me, to play it solo. We were all eager beaver moving our units on up here, but as soon as this unit here, lead unit, gets 3 hexes away from this unit, so 1, 2, 3. So as soon as he got to this hex here, any unit that's within 3 hexes has the option to square. I think we'd definitely take the option with both of these. So we'll have, let me see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, as soon as he hit here, that would be 3 hexes. 1, 2, 3. So, well, anyway, this is the key hex. As soon as this lead unit hit this hex here, both of these units would have the option to square. They're both going to take the option. And we'll go through that procedure right now. Sorry about that. All right, Russian player will have a -1 modifier because we would have done it at 3 hexes away. All right, and the thing of it is, succeed on or more. Oh, okay. All right, so it gets worse. So succeed on 2, 8 or more. So -1. No leaders with them. All right, now the unit's forming squares of veterans that are neither elite or green, so it will be a -1 on this roll, and they succeed with an 8 or more. Looking for a high roll if you're ran of the Russians in this battle. Ooh, they get a -1. They do not succeed, so that will be for this first grenadier unit here. So he does not form square. Next, we'll do the same procedure, -1 for this next unit. There's a PSO, the BEL. What would that be? Battalion? Let me look and see. Yeah. The BEL battalion failed, and the PSO battalion grenadiers will attempt to square. -1. Looking for a high roll. No good, no good. Alright, so that was it. Let me see here if this unit here would like to square on up. Because as they get closer, so that would be 1, 2, 3. He's right there. I don't think so because our flanks are taken, and although square is always good against anything except fire. During the fire phase, you can only shoot 2 strength points out of any side versus 8 strength points out of our front. I think we'll stay there for the fire phase. So there you go. We're up to date. Just want to make sure on that. Oh, we still got a cube to go through, and we were debating on whether we want to go ahead and assault now. It would be that'd be a good thing to do. Now, if this guy here, when he moves, wants to assault these troops here, when he gets within 3 hexes, which would be at least 1 or 2 more hexes he moves, they can attempt to square also. But then again, like he said, we got these boys here, so the plan's working out real good. Or the tactic. We'll see what happens. We're back. All right then, Napoleon versus Bennigsen. And the French get a jump on them, initiative-wise. And they will make the decision to commence the attack on the Markov division. We'll see how this works out because the cube will go to... Ooh. I'm wondering... If we give it to the 2nd division, can we just fire, or do we have to wait for the fire cube? Huh. You know what I mean? I think we'll stick with our Calvary reserve. We're not going to worry about that right now. Yeah, it's going to go to the 4th Corps. Calvary reserve will be on the move with a 1 movement point penalty because it'd be their 2nd activation. There you go. -2 movement point penalty. First cavalry charge of the game. Now, next one will be 1, 2, 3, and square up time. Units in the obstructed building hexes can't square up, but we will. Now we got to debate this as the Russian player. If we square up, we won't get no fire. But it does make it a little bit harder to get that edge. Yeah, I think we'll attempt to square, so I guess we'll go ahead and roll these 2 dice again. And we look at a -1, because if he gets any closer, it goes down to a -2 and then a -3. So we have to do it right now. So we need an 8 or less with a -1. No good, Russians. Not drilled properly, I guess. Alright, I don't know what buttons I'm hitting, but anyway, the other unit failed his roll too. That's -1, and the chasseurs will continue their charge now. He's only got 7 movement points, and it takes an extra movement point to get next to a Russian unit, so this hex costs 2. So we'll be right back. Alright, well, the way I'm seeing it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll do us a base change to there. Our first assault will be the chasseurs versus this unit here now. We can assault with this unit too, but he'd have to wait for his activation, the 2nd division, so you can't do them both at once right now. This is the only one that's got the order, so he'll be, luckily, well, as a matter of fact, I guess he'd want to stay there, because under these modifiers, and I changed them, but I'm going to go back to the originals, because I think they did their homework, and this isn't errata. I thought when I first got this game, everything was all messed up, and I thought, what? Charging through the rear is worse than, or not as bad as charging through the flank, but I think they do know what they're talking about, because if you see here, all they'd have to do is just about face, to where if you got them from the side, I think it'd do more damage, as the chart says. I erased it, but anyway, as the Russians, you'd want them to come through the rear because, and ignore what I scratched out, it's a less of a modifier. Charging through the sides even worse with a +/-3, so we'll stay where we're at as the Russian player, and these boys here will just about face. Now, let me think the only time we get defensive fire is if they're coming to our front. These are the two front hexes of the Russians, so even if we did pivot this way or this way, it's still going to be if I pivot this way, it'll be a flank, so we're going to want to stay here and take it. We can't fire upon them. Wow. All right, well, here's the assault. We'll be back with the, I'm going to go through the numbers. I think we'll do the assault first. Or do we move everybody first? Let me see what's going on. Maybe we'll move everybody first, and then we'll go with the assaults. Yeah, we'll do it that way. We'll be back. All right, old St. Joseph and his 4th Corps Cavalry Reserve. Doing it to it. Now, we do have one square attempt with this unit right here. We need to roll. We'll attempt it as soon as this unit here that was going to attack him hit 3 hexes, so I just haven't done it yet. So he'll go with the -1 modifier. And he will. The logic behind that is he sees what's going on. He's the only one. A square is a square. And these boys want to save their ass, so they're going to go for 8 or more with a -1. No good. None of them made it. That is kind of. Is it that tough? I don't know. All right, well, Russians. Poorly drilled, and none of these units will get the square benefit. And the square is a hard thing to break, and they're all caught out here with their fly down. They're caught with their pants down. All right, when we come back, it will be cavalry charge time. And I got the cheesy effects, but we'll skip it for right now. I was going to put them on here and it's pretty good. It's from, oh, gosh darn, I can't remember the name of the movie. Well, I'm going to have to stop and remember it. Hold on. Union of Salvation. A Russian movie about the revolt right after Napoleonic time. I think Napoleon was probably, well, he might have been on Elba, or St. Helena, rather, at the time. It was after his second abdication or whatever. But anyway, we'll be back with combats. All right, real quick look. We were able to get some of these units out here. And as a matter of fact, what we wanted to do was protect old boy's flank. So, as it stands, anybody that goes into this hex and this hex can be reaction charged by the hussars. And therefore, same here with these chasseurs up this way. These boys are late to the party, but they're lagging behind. You know, somebody's got to go to the end of the line, so there they are, heading up this way to join their buddies in a nice little defensive line in case anybody wants to spoil our massacring fun. So there you go. Again, more units that were late, and of course the artillery always lagging behind, but that's the way that is. He's still limbered, so he's being towed. Our first assault, I guess. Let's go here on the end. And another thing is, if these boys do run, they got a good pathway to run. You know what I should have did? I don't know if I could have. Didn't know if I could get somebody over to block his retreating route. That would have been nice. But anyway, this unit here, cavalry charging this unit here, not in square. We'll be back with the numbers. All right, well, let's step outside. It'll be a Pleasant Valley Monday out here in Status-Symbol land. Oh, it's always nice to get out and see what the old pooch is doing. I seen him heading over this way. Where is he? Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. What you doing out here? It's so nice. He says, I don't know what you got in your hand there, Daddy, but I don't know if I like it. All right, I gotta take care of the dog. It's a great day out here. We'll be back. All right, well, 2 hours later, I got a taste of the outside bug. One thing led to another, and I'm cutting grass, trimming lawns, and finally, with the blower, cleaning everything off. Nice little shower on done. Back down here. I get sidetracked. Took the dog for a long walk. Did it all. So, you know, it's been a long 2 or 3 hours, and we're gonna all work and no play makes GWG a very, very dull boy. So when we come back, we'll be on our what part of the battlefield? Yeah, over here, and our first major combats. It's closed in on the Russians. They got closed in quick. thanks to the better administrative and logistics. I guess in the French, they got the jump on them. We'll be back. All right. Well, my closest pronunciation of this town is Schloeditten. Schloeditten is his first town, and there's no victory points associated with it. So we're just trying to get victory points by inflicting casualties and eliminating units. We got a little bit of making up to do. You could see the Russian army fatigue points count versus the French. And we're also hoping for some demoralization and getting some of these units next to, hopefully we can get some eliminated units or units of retreat and get that domino effect with the units adjacent. First, now we're going with the cavalry charge, and it's 9 versus 4. That ends up being a 100 infantry assaulting 2-1. We will have us a -1 to start with. As stated on the tally stick, this thing comes in handy. All right, we pause here. Russians get a home field advantage of +1, zeroing it out. And then kicks in the grand scenario, grand battle modifiers under regroup or strategic move order. So another -2, because that is what Markov is. That's his current order. Equaling a -2 on a tally stick. Then we got to charge through the rear, which they are, and that'll be a -2. I've edited that, but we're going to go back and let the designers know more than we do. So a little bit of salt and pepper with my words for the GWG on that one. Let me see. So now we got another -2 from charge through the rear. Looking at the big nice -4. We got some other ones down here. The one we're looking at right now is cavalry against infantry, not in square formation. We'll get the big -3. But I'm trying to look at the one above it. And our cavalry charged from more than an adjacent hex. But if you start out adjacent and you don't get that momentum, you get a negative modifier. So it helps when you're charging from a long way. So we will get another -3 because they're not in square. They failed their square formation die roll. All right, that signifies -7. All right, none of the other ones qualify except for the very last one. That's our leader ranking. And Joseph is with the assault. So, which one are we doing here now? Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, no, he's not. But we want to make sure he is. Well, I did what I did, so he is not, because we're going after this one, so we won't give him the... We're good enough as it is. I think we're looking at a -7. So we'll be fine. We'll say that the leader is with our next assault. There you go. So right now we're doing the chasseurs against the grenadiers. Coming in from behind. They're going to lob a few of those early grenades at them. And see what happens. We'll be right back to where we'll be ready for the roll with a -7. And we need 7 or less for these boys to bail. We'll be back. All right, then -7. Chasseurs versus Grenadiers. Ready for the die roll. French open for 12. Ooh, they almost get it with a 10. With a 9. -7, so there you go. 2 definitely beats that 7 or less. So they assault the charge units. 1 strength point and retreats if assaulted by infantry. They were charged by cavalry, so the charge units and infantry lose 2 strength points. And there you go. They will regroup 4 hexes away after suffering 50% casualties. Also, chasseurs will advance, cutting off their escape route. If they want to escape, they're going to take hits. That's the way you want to do it now. They just seen their buddies bail. Everybody starts looking at everybody else. No fire yet, but they got the cavalry charging through their flank. Yeah, now we can flip around this way to meet the charge and get us some defensive fire. The other unit, that's one of the things about coming in from the rear. You couldn't get no defensive fire, but these boys here, I don't think I could charge anymore. Yeah, that's right. We'll have to see what goes on. I think that's it, yeah. that'll be it for that charge. So the next one we'll go to will be this unit here. But before we do that, stand check. We'll be right back. Before I forget, looking here, just studying the board. This unit here is just charged. And whenever you charge, you flip the Calvary over to their tired side. There you go. Flipped on over. All right, now we're ready to make a stand check for the unit to just watch their buddies bail. And they are surrounded. So if they do leave, they could get, well, I don't know if they get shot upon with Calvary. Huh. I think it doesn't differentiate between cavalry or infantry. If you go through or next to adjacent to an enemy unit, you lose a strength point. So if it's infantry, I guess it represents them firing. And if it's cavalry, it represents them chasing down the stragglers and tearing them up. We'll be back. Stand table, the only one we see here is Russian. Gets a +1. There you go. And then it's negated by being adjacent or the same hex as a friendly unit that retreated. Okay. So that is a -1, so it goes back to 0. Right, then this one, infantry or artillery in a non-obstructed hex and within 3 hexes of an enemy cavalry. So that's a -2. There you go. So the 3 hexes, we have cavalry right here and right there. So they're adjacent to them. So I guess that adds to them being quite shaky. Hold on, let's make sure they're not within buildings. I don't think they are. Yeah, little crossroad hex. And then no one has a leader present modifier either. So we are rolling with a -2, I believe. 4, 3, 2. -2 on this roll. We'll roll 2 dice. And let me use the camera here. There's what we're looking for. Anything smaller than 6, -2. Let's see here. Russian die. Easy for me to say. Alright, so you're looking for a big high roll for a change there. Russians. High roll, -2. There you go. Alright, well that helps out a lot. It's a 10. That means that they will stand. Not the result the French are looking for. So there you go. They will stay put. When we come back, we'll have our next assault. Or, well, you know what? As a matter of fact, we won't have a assault there because they're in an obstructed hex. We can get there, but I think the modifiers are against it. So I think that's going to be it for... Oh, we have a couple of them over here on the other side of the town. So yeah, it'll be our cavalry. We'll have 2 more charges to go through. This one here will hold off. I think we were counting on this unit here bailing. So we'll see. Not the result we wanted, but that'll be it for that set of cavalry charges. We come back. All right, we'll charge this unit first. Hope for a couple cascading effects. First of all, this unit, make sure we got him facing the right way. We do. He gets 1 free pivot. So he will meet his attacker with some defending fire. Alright, we're going to take a little break here when we come back. Defending fire, and then we'll get on with the charge. And he'll avoid the big modifiers that this unit here that retreated incurred getting charged from the flank or the rear. He'll meet him head on and get to squeeze off some shots. We'll be right back. Our 3rd cavalry charge. I think we decided we were going to do this one first. These boys here have pivoted. And we'll fire a maximum of, what is it? 4 strike points. Anyway, maximum of 4 strike points. All right, no matter what their strength is, their maximum of 4, so that's fine. And it'll be strike points times 2 when they're in line, so they'll be shooting at them with 8. And they'll be the only modifier for the fire combat is that they are in defensive fire, so that's a +1. So we'd be looking under 6 to 8 column with a +1. Grab the Russian die. +1. Looking for a high roll to inflict some casualties on the incoming French chasseurs. And it's a regiment charging a battalion, so a larger unit going against a smaller one on top of that. And they do it with a 12. Alright, well that won't stop the charge, but it will. Ooh, give us,
2 strike points. Is it a stand or is that just a leader check? Let's see here. Be right back.
Alright, then Grenadiers coming through. Oh, knocking that unit there down from a 9 strike point to 7 with defensive fire. Wow. Yeah, they got the most out of that one. And these boys have to make a stand check. Alright, no modifiers that they qualify for. Rolling 2 dice, but the modified die roll is smaller than 6. The lead unit loses 1 strength point and retreats, so we gotta get something better than 6 with this die roll. Zoom out. Alright, looking for a high die roll. He makes it so he will not retreat. Stays put and flipped over to his tired side. Alright, well that is... Ooh. After the initial unit retreated, this unit here held tight against this unit, and this unit here not only held tight but gave it back some. So excellent for the Russians. Yeah, definitely holding tough to Markov division. Right, next will be this unit here coming in for the attack. Both of these units failed their square, but they're in line and ready to fire. So this unit here also will pivot to meet his attacker. Alright, we have the same thing going on here. +1 for defensive fire under the 8 column. And looking for the same result. Using my white die again because the game did not give me to customize the green die. It was supposed to come with the game. As a matter of fact, I didn't get any die with my game. So, yeah, like I said, it cost me about at least $50 more to get this game rolling. But we're not too bitter. Okay, let's see here. +1 on this die roll. Looking for another big die roll from the Russians. Boom, on the line fire. And they get it, 10. And that equals 1 strike point loss, yep. So they take 1 down with them, but there won't be no stand check, and the charge will proceed. Now that I think about it, we need to proceed with this charge too. These guys didn't retreat, so they could still go on with that charge, so we'll go with this one first. You know what though? Let's hold off where we're at, because if this one does retreat as a result of this charge, these boys have to make a stand check, so let's just hold off what we just did. With this one here, I just realized that. Why wouldn't these guys complete their charge? They're going to complete their charge right now, so let's hold off of a pause. They lost their 2-to-1 advantage, so they'll be going with a 1-to-1 on their charge. And we have cavalry assaulting this time, but still 1-to-1 with a 0. Another +1 for Russian home field advantage. Again, under the strategic move order. So we're at -2 now. -1 on the tally stick. Alright, that'll be it for the defending unit die roll modifiers. Now for the attacking units. And their first one is strength points lost due to defensive fire. They took a hit on that one. So it'll be a +2. Brings it to a +1 on the tally stick. So the big one kicks in when infantry are not in square formation, -3. At -2 there on the tally stick. And that clears off the modifiers. So we'll have the French. Only 2 dice with a -2 looking for a 7 or less. So yeah, this isn't over yet. They still get to charge. Let's see here. There was just what their losses were, and they didn't bail, so whatever's left over, the 700 are charging the 400 approximately. And it is a -2. Oh, they get it with a 6. And they get the, if charged by cavalry, result. Infantry unit loses 2 strength points. Alright. Alright, so the corrected result is... He has 2 strength points left. Where's my tool? Hold on. I must retreat 4. And we'll end his movement right there. Alright, back to conclude the 4th Corps Cavalry Reserves. Cavalry charges one of, let me see, It would have been 1 here, 2, 3 here, and we don't know if we're going to do the 4th. We'll have to find out how they retreat. But these units here won't be involved in the conflict because it is the 7th Reserve Cavalry charges. Part of their movement phase, they're going to charge. So we have a unit right here that has to check for stand. Now the stand will include modifiers. Let me see here. RD needs a 6 or more, and he'll pass. He'll get a +1 modifier for being Russian, having a good morale, being in his home country. But he will get a -1 for adjacent to a friendly unit that retreated. So now we're at 0. All right, now the kicker will be the infantry/artillery, and that's the Russians, in a non-obstructed hex within 3 hexes of an enemy cavalry, which they are. So he'll be rolling this die with a -2 die roll modifier. We'll get the Russian white die, and he needs a 6 or more with a -2 modifier. Oh, he is not going to get it, so he bails. That is a key roll right there. And he gets a 5. Oh, and he needed a, let me see down here, stand table. On a modified die roll is smaller than a 6. The lead unit loses 1 strength point and retreats. All right, it ends with this fellow retreating grenadiers. But he took 2 hits while leaving this hex. 1 from these boys firing at him. Got here, he was okay. When he got to this hex, he had to take fire from the cavalry came down and swarmed and got the stragglers. And there you go. So he ends up here. So that changes it on this cavalry assault. Was maybe neutral to disadvantaged against the French, but now they're definitely making the most of it. Now, we did have this unit, these Hussars, attacking these boys here, but that won't happen because they got to make a morale or a stand check because they were also next to the unit that was in this hex, the Russians that bailed. So they're looking around, seeing everybody's running. They might get the old rabbit fever too and get ready to head on out. They will be same thing, -2 die roll modifier. I don't think there's anything different. And he needs a 6 or higher. Same modifier, 6 or higher. -2. Oh, not the Russian time at all. So I'm thinking we'll just take that as his first one. Either way, he's got to go that way anyway, so that'll be his first retreating hex. He will have hit stacking limits, so he can't go that way. Gets meleeed. And he will end right there also. Alright, well there you go. That is the end of the 4th Corps Cavalry Reserves movement. Under, where is the general at? Here you go. Joseph. Alright, Joseph's not going to do anything. That is where he started his maneuver. We got to make sure he's not in an obstructed hex. He can be an obstructed hex, but he's got to be on the road, which he is. So let me look over, smoke clears from all these battles, make sure everybody's in the right position. We'll be right back. Alright, 4th Corps Cavalry Reserve clearing out 3 of the 4 hexes they assaulted. I think this one here is the only one who held true. One of these failed and had a domino effect, and everybody else bailed with them, so they're heading out, panicking from being surrounded. Markov division not looking too good. We're come back, or when we come back, we will have another cube draw. See who gets the next initiative. We'll be right back. Alright, that was a good activation. I think the men lost was approximately 1,100. Grenadiers mostly. Yeah, let me see what that unit there was. Yeah, 1,100 grenadiers. So the grenadiers taking the brunt, being charged by cavalry, not being drilled sufficiently enough to get into square formation. So they took a cavalry charge in line and suffered approximately 1,100 dead. But no unit was eliminated, so therefore they didn't suffer any cube loss. So as bad as that was, no cube losses yet. Okay, let's go back and get ready for our next cube draw, and then we'll upload this one. We'll call it a video, and get ready for our next. Ooh, let me see here. I like this cube draw system. Definitely, no game's gonna be the same. So you can play this 10 times. All right, let me take a pause break real quick. All right, here you go. Red, Russian, or French. Should be French. Oh, Russians are going through these cubes. I think they only got like, they're on 4. They have a total of 8. And when all 8 are gone, Russia wants to pull them all out. Because once they get their 8 cubes back, if we go straight 8, all the French cubes are wasted. We go to the next turn. So, way to go, Russians. All right, well, they need it. They need it. Let's see what happens. Courier just ran on up to old Benningson's headquarters and told him what's going on. Tell him your right flank's collapsing and Markov's getting mauled. What are you going to do about it? We'll be right back. All right. Well, here's the situation. Old Russians just got word they're getting their asses beat here in, whatever that town is. I'm not even going to attempt it. But, yeah, they got the word. What we got going on here? We got old 7th. I think it's a no-brainer. We have things we want to do as the Russians on our left flank, but we're going to have to be reactive instead of proactive because our hand's been forced by the French success. 7th Division, I guess, is a no-brainer. Going to have to get the courier or the cube. Meanwhile, 4th Division can't do nothing until Daddy tells him to, and he's just sitting there because he is on hold or defend position or defend order. So he ain't going to move. On the other hand, this old boy got an attack order. He's taking full advantage. I think we're going to have to give the cube to 7th Division. Like I said, I would rather be proactive and make our move somewhere else, let the French react to us. But, yeah, things are getting a little bit out of hand here. So it will be, what is his name? Oh, I still can't read that. Dochtu. Okay. Turov is up. 7th Division under attack order. We'll get there. 2nd Cube. Be back with Turov. What did we say his name was? Turov. And his 7th Division are under attack order. We'll see what they do with it. Be right back. All right, 7th Division making it move. One thing that kind of hinders them is the fact that they have to pay 2 movement points to get next to a French unit. Therefore, they cannot engage. They will stay in column for maybe some future assaults, but that'd be it. And the old hammer and anvil is about to be hammered and anviled. There you go. I guess that's the way it works. Some units lagging behind. Artillery still limbered with that 1 movement point penalty for their 2nd activation of the hour. It came up a little short, but that's just that. It's as much help as we can give you there, Markov. He's got his men amongst the buildings, which will help. But the old general himself is out there with an artillery that is alone. Wow. Yeah, 2nd Division, 4th Corps. Might be time for them to make a stand. Although you really can't do nothing unless you want to assault. You can't fire unless you get the fire cube. So we'll see how it goes. Ready for our next cube draw when we come back. Calling it a video. This will be, let me see, about 1, 2, 3. We'll go 2 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Huh. Still like 18 minutes. Let me see there. Well, it can't be 1 minute apiece. So we got to get at least 2. So I think I had on the inscription 20 minutes into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That's 27 minutes. I have to see how many blocks are in there and what it breaks down to in minutes, but we'll call this one 20 minutes to 25 minutes on the description. We'll be back.